Hi everyone, welcome to our English lesson for today. We're going to be carrying on looking at the Spiderwick Chronicles. As I said yesterday, those of you that are interested in the film, it is on Netflix. So I have actually watched it because any excuse really. It's on Netflix for free. You can watch it there if you have it. Okay, let's get started. Now today we are going to be using and looking at hyphens. Now, hyphens look very similar to a dash. So we have hyphens, which are a line, and dashes, which are a line. So what's the difference? Well, a hyphen, which we're going to look at in a minute, is used between two words. A dash is used to separate parts of a sentence. Okay, so a hyphen is to use just between two words. A dash is used for separate parts to separate bits of a sentence. So we've used dashes this week when we looked at parenthesis. So if, for example, I had a sentence like Mr. Kent dash who loved sport played I don't know, basketball. The dashes are used to separate the parenthesis or the subordinate clause from the rest of the sentence. Dash is used to separate parts of a sentence. Hyphens are used between two words. And you'll see what that looks like in a second. Our creature of choice for today is the fire salamander. The fire salamander is a fierce creature. Quite small, but certainly deadly. We're going to have a read of the description of the fire salamander now. So on the screen now you can see the picture of it, and you can see some of the notes in the corner. This is the description of the fire salamander. So, salamanders. The salamander is a tiny, deceptively agreeable creature resembling its amphibious namesake. It can withstand extreme heat, and when threatened, the salamander will ignite, creating a white-hot flame around its body. Regardless, its skin is cool no matter how hot the temperature around it. The flaming salamander can be found in damp places or in wood piles, although it has been spotted near volcanoes. It gives off the odour of sulphur and is believed to secrete poison so terrible that it burns whatever it touches. Salamanders are sought by alchemists, they're kind of like people that deal with potions, because they are an integral component for turning lead into gold. They are also sought for their pelts, since the skins can be used to make flame-retardant gloves, like fire-resistant. Although swift, a salamander can be caught with tongs and kept in an iron box. Okay, that's the description of the salamander. Now, I've actually planned your guided reading today off of this text, so if you want to go do the guided reading now, as I've just read it to you, and then come back, feel free. I've purposefully not talked about what the words mean because that's the guided reading task, so you'll get to have a go at it on there. Okay, so either go and have a go at that and come back, or you can do that later, whatever works best for you. Okay, let's move on. So, hyphens. White hot, flame retardant. Both of those have been taken from the text I just read. Both of these phrases use a hyphen to join two words together. So we've got white hot joined together, flame retardant joined together. Now, a hyphen is a punctuation mark, looks a lot like a dash. Hyphens join together words or parts of words, so small scale reformed. They're very useful and they help us clarify meaning. Now, when do we actually use them, Mr. Kent? That's all we really need to know. Well, hyphens can be used in a couple of different ways, and I would kind of recommend you make a note of this. So, hyphens. Number one, the way that they can be used is to link two separate words into what's called a compound adjective. Don't write that down, you don't need to know the technical name for it. Basically, it's linking two adjectives or parts of adjectives that are very close and similar in meaning. So anything that is something like has to have a hyphen between it. Bear like, Dog-like, gorilla-like, eagle-like, whatever it is. If it's something like, you have to have a hyphen. Equally, if you're describing a certain shade of a colour, hot pink, bright orange, you could have vibrant purple. Because you're just still describing the colour and they're very closely linked, you put a hyphen. So if you've got two adjectives that are very closely linked, you put a hyphen. You can also use it to join two nouns together sometimes. So if, for example, you had a skeleton head or a student teacher. Okay, two nouns together sometimes, but I'm not too worried about that. The main other way you're going to use it is when you are having sort of what's called a hybrid word. So if you've got words like cooperating now, or de-escalate, that means you've got your main word and there's normally two letters before it. Co, de. These are called prefixes, i.e. they go at the beginning of a word. And you would use a hyphen to link that prefix to the main word. De-escalate, cooperating. Again, you can use it if we're doing the word re, as in resend or repress. It means to do it again. I redid it, I repressed it, I resent it, I resubmitted it. Re means to do it again. It's those two letters again. Two letters before a main word would be linked with a hyphen. The other time you would use it if you're writing numbers as words. So if you write a two-digit number, so 32, for example, you would put a hyphen between the 30 and the 2. Okay. I'm not going to worry too much about those. No, so what you need to take away from that, okay, is you don't need to know them all. The main time you're going to use a hyphen is this. So if you've got notes, this is the ones you need. So the main time you're going to use it, number one, if you are saying it is something like. So, for example, bear-like. So when you're describing, if you're saying it's something like, that's when you would use the hyphen. The second time you're going to use it is if you're describing a colour and a certain shade of colour. So it would be a colour. For example, you might have midnight, I don't know, midnight black. There we go, that's fine. Midnight black. That's the second time, really, that you're going to use it. The third way you would use it is if you've got two letters, then the main word, which is a prefix. I'm just saying that 'cause it's easier for you to remember. So, for example, resend, de-escalate. Okay, something like that. Those are the three main ways you're going to use it. Hyphens can be used for colours. Moss green, dark green, ocean blue. Hyphens should be used saying something is like something, rabbit-like, fox-like, car-like. And if you've got two words that are really closely connected, lightning quick, well made, razor sharp, white hot. So two words that are very close in meaning. So razor and sharp, well, a razor is sharp, so they need a hyphen. Okay, well made, linked together. Now, your task for today. I've just shown you briefly what hyphens are. And what I'm going to ask you to do today is to write a short poem about, and I do this on purpose, poem about the fire salamander. Now in each line of your, does it need to rhyme? No. It's just basically a short bit of description about the fire salamander. So don't even think of it as a poem really, but I'll read you this one here. Fire breathing with piercing yellow eyes, engulfed in a white-hot flame. Eye-watering poison secreted within, sharp-toothed enemies await. If you're thinking, Mr. Kent, oh, how am I going to write a poem? Don't worry, just write 4 or 5 sentences to describe the fire salamander that use a hyphen in it. Okay, so you've got 2 choices. You can either have a go at writing the poem using some hyphens, or you can just write some descriptive sentences that use hyphens within it. And what I'll do on Seesaw when I upload it is you'll have half the page for task 1, which will be the poem if you choose to do that, and half a page on the other side will be for your sentences if you choose to do that one, and I don't mind which you choose. If you'd like to have a go at the poem, this is what you're going to need to do. For each thing, we're going to pick a part of the body and we are going to describe it. So the first one here is fire breathing with piercing yellow eyes. So if I go back to my fire salamander, right to the beginning. Okay, so what am I going to have a look at? And this will also help you if you're going to do your descriptive sentences. So I am going to say, well, let's have a look in the text. Let's steal some things. What have we got? Salamander is tiny, deceptively agreeable, resembling its amphibious namesake. Okay, so let's go for. Now I need to put a. I want to talk about the fact it's on fire. Okay, so white hot flames. There you go. White hot. That's a hyphen. White hot flames. Emerge. There we go. White hot flames emerge. Burning. With. I want to do something like heat. Something like heat. What could I say? Something that's white hot flames emerge, burning with. I'm going to go for volcano-like heat. There we go. Volcano-like heat. There we go. First 2 lines of a poem done. I need to do 2 more and I'm finished. You could do the same thing with your descriptive sentences. You might be thinking, I don't know any hyphenated words. I don't know what to describe. Well, first thing you can do is to look in the example, which is your guided reading task. That might help you. The second thing you can do is also on Seesaw will be, let me get to it, this list of words here. Feel free to pick them and just put them into sentences. Not all of them will work for a fire salamander, but some of them will. For example, green-eyed you might do, blood red, fast moving, blazing hot, razor sharp. All sorts of ones you can use. So feel free to use some of those words in your either your descriptive sentences or the poem you're going to have a go at writing. Bit of a shorter video today because it doesn't take long to teach hyphens, but I hope you enjoy it and I'm hoping to see your poems or your descriptive sentences on Seesaw. Tomorrow is World Book Day and tomorrow you will be designing your own creature for the Spiderwick book, and look out as well for a special video that is going out to all children across the school to celebrate World Book Day. Thank you very much for listening. I look forward to seeing you soon. Tomorrow is our last online video because fingers crossed we're all going to be back on Monday, and I look forward to seeing you in person so I don't have to listen to my own voice when I edit these videos. It's been a long few weeks. Goodbye.